All right, y'all, welcome back. So, kind of having an issue here. If you watched the last couple of videos, you know that my driver's side headlight was out. I went, of course, picked up some new headlights, bam, stuck it in there, and nothing happened. So, the bummer part about all this is I'm supposed to be, one, camping tonight, so I have a video for you guys tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. But two, I'm getting ready for a big road trip that I need to go on. And not that it was any of Brock's fault, but if you were watching my Instagram stories, I had dropped this off because when I was filling my gas tank up, when it would fill, it would start dumping gas out the bottom of the truck. The issue was there was a rust hole in the top of my fuel sending unit that was on top of the gas tank. So we got all of that taken out, got the gas tank out, and we could not get the sending unit out because there's a lock ring on the top that was super crusty, etc., etc. It was late in the day, but we called up a few junkyards and managed to get a new not a new gas tank, but a used gas tank that wasn't so crusty for $35. Brock got the new sending unit installed, etc., but instead of being a one-day job, that went through the weekend, and I didn't have my truck for 4 days. So we're not going to get the back end rebuild done before this trip either, because I need to leave for that pretty soon. But Brock did the tank, new tank straps, all the rear brake lines are brand new, serviced the transmission, serviced the transfer case, did the diffs. Everything is good to go on that. But now I get it home and I've got a wiring issue with this headlight, and I'm trying to sort that out. I already swapped the fuses around, swapped the relays around. None of that is working. So I started screwing around, jiggling the wires, etc., and it's the plug that goes right into the back of the headlight has got a short in it. So today, instead of camping, we are probably going to have to run to town, which is going to be an hour-long round trip because I'm out in the country. One of the joys of being out here is nothing is close by. And then try to figure out how to get that in. I'd rather not cut and splice. There is a plug that goes down to, so I'm hoping that I can get that plug out, de-pin the wires, and put new wires in. The problem is I'm going to probably have to pull the grill off and pull the headlight out in order to access that plug. I'll stick you guys in here and see if I can show you what I'm talking about, but it's probably going to be a little bit dark. So let's see, there's the headlight, and you can see the wires that go back into that. This camera isn't going to focus well enough, but right here you can see exposed wiring basically on both of those. That goes down into, can I see it? Into that bigger plug right there. So I need to access that, which, like I said, I'm probably going to have to pull the headlight out. So this is not a fun situation, but it's one of the joys of owning, at this point, what is a 16-year-old truck with 230 something thousand miles on it. So I'm gonna run to town. We're gonna grab that stuff, see if we can get that fixed, and then probably just get everything in the back prepped. I've got a new mattress for the bed that's an inch thicker. Wasn't planning to put that in until we did the rebuild, but the rebuild is probably not gonna happen until after this road trip. So I guess let's get to it because I've got to be ready to go. All right, I think I got what I need here. I had ended up grabbing stuff to do an oil change because I might as well do that before I go. I did not write down my mileage on the last one, which was dumb. But instead of buying just that one little pigtail, I ended up picking up the whole harness that goes into the headlight. So I should just be able to swap it out. We're still gonna have to pull the grill and the headlight out. So I'm about 99% sure I have to pull the grill just to get the headlight out. But I think I'm gonna run over to Harbor Freight since I'm over here. I like perusing that store, so maybe we'll see if we can find anything. I wouldn't mind getting like one of the fancy headlamps that the people use, because it's always hard if I've got my truck turned around to see stuff in the engine bay. But yeah, I'm just gonna run over there and see what they got. Man, pulled up to Harbor Freight, look at that. We got a Daytona, oh geez, and look at that beautiful thing. It's a LTD, man. That thing is gorgeous. minty shape. Even that dude's checking it out. Hell yeah, 76 LTD. That thing is nice. Oh, and he's the pro with the Daytona. Love me some old junk. Nice car, man. Is it a Daytona?
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, man, that thing is clean. Super clean. Hey. This might work. Go get one of these for my wrenches too. I guess that comes with two of them. Spending money today. That'd be real nice too. All right, made it back in the truck. Of course, I was looking at this thing and it was on sale, but it was only on sale if you're a member, and I guess I'm not a member, which is kind of a bummer. So it is what it is. It'll work nicely. It's got a magnetic base, so I can stick it under the hood, and there's lights on both sides of it. It's dimmable, USB-C rechargeable. It'll work great, and it folds in half, so it can just go in the drawer. And I've needed some of these wrench things to try to clear up space in that drawer. But the funniest part is I get up there and he's like, "You want to try your strength and win a free light?" And so I was like, well, what's the problem? He couldn't get the bottom off of this where the batteries went into, and I just cranked it open. It opened it right up. So, I mean, it's a used light some guy had that I think he returned it or brought it back, but you just pop it open and it lights up. Probably needs new batteries, I don't know. Either way, got a free lantern out of the deal, I guess. Feats of strength, but not too shabby. They didn't have like the headlamp I was actually trying to get. I guess, you know, I've probably got other camping lamps I could have used, but it was one of those, I think Snap-on has one. It like goes back around the back of your head and there's like two spotlights on it. It would just be nice, but I think that magnetic one will work just fine. All right, I need a full tank of gas, so this day of camping that I was planning has turned into $200 and something adventure with fuel, but it is what it is. I needed to change the oil anyways. I don't know, at this point I'm just rambling and not looking forward to taking the front of the truck apart. What time is it? 2 o'clock. Kind of a little bit hungry. Go grab some food. Got a dang old fly in here. Little Tech 9, Techanina. All right, what should we do? Get some food? Let's go get some food. Nobody behind me. Shut my headlights off since I've only got one stupid thing. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Either way, this thing is still considerably cheaper than trying to buy any sort of new vehicle at this point, so it is what it is. All right, stopped at the gas station, filled the tank up. Store at Casey's, figured I'd just grab a piece of Casey's pizza, no reason to go anywhere else. Get 2 birds stoned at once, is that the saying? And I grabbed a zero sugar A&W. I've heard these are good. I have not had one of these yet. And then walking out of here, I got stopped by a guy in a, what is it, Echo Plumbing and Heating, I think, or Heating and Cooling. I'm not sure. I can't read it from here. That watches the channel, so good to talk to him. you guys have never had Casey's Pizza, it's good, and depending on where you're at, they'll deliver and whatnot. I was hoping they've got a sign out here for sweet heat sausage and pepperoni with like a spicy sausage or something, but they didn't have any in there. This is just straight beef. But they've got good, like, there's a brisket pizza that's really good that I get, and then they've got like one with jalapenos all over it. They got good stuff. I'm gonna shovel this guy in. Yeah, 0 sugar, no caffeine, A&W. Not super cold, but let's see what it's like with no sugar. Smells like root beer. That's actually really good. Like, you can't even tell it's sugar-free. That's tasty. I bet it's lower calories. It's gotta be. Oh, she's 0 calories. Yeah, 0 calorie root beer, caffeine free. All right, I'm gonna shovel this pizza in. I'll see you guys at home. All right, made it home. Go ahead and pop this guy open. At least I get something good out of all this nonsense, right? Give me a little treat, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, it's USB rechargeable. You got a light on the back there. Got a light on the end, and then you've got that light. And this thing flips all the way around, so you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And it's got a big magnet on the back, so I can clam. And I've got myself a work light, which is nice. So make it much easier to work on junk, because it is kind of dark. Like, I don't have the greatest lighting in here, so this is pretty nice for what it is. Like, I'm stoked on it. Cool. I actually plug it in because the battery is about dead, of course. So I don't know if we'll get to use this, but I should just get to taking this whole front end off here. I guess, like I said, I picked up these guys for the drawer over here because it'd be nice to get these organized a little bit better. Hopefully it works. Like this one came with the thing, but these are all just doubles. I don't even know where these came from, but I've got multiple doubles, and I haven't thrown them away because I saw a cool thing where a guy used like old wrenches and made drawer pulls with these kind of things. But yeah, this could be organized a little bit better. I don't know. For now, we're not going to worry about that. So we just need to get to work here. Okay. Like, I've done it a couple of times. And then I think this just pops in on the side. Yep. Boom, got it. All right, there we go. So this is the harness that I bought. So we'll replace this whole thing. And once I get it off, should be able to show you guys a little bit better. I might have to use my phone so it focuses, but I'll show you where the short was at on this thing. Make sure this is looking the same. Yeah. Yeah, that all looks the same. Where's my dielectric grease? Amongst my pile of junk over here. You guys even see what I got going on? Yeah. plug this guy in while we're taking it all apart, just so I don't do anything backwards. All right, well, let's see what happens. I'll see if I can show you what the issue was on this thing. Which one was it? It was this one. So maybe focus. Yeah, you can see there's exposed wires right there. So you can see how it was probably shorting out. And I think, if I remember correctly, you could even see it a little bit on the yellow wire, but there's like a hole. But yeah, if I would jiggle this around, the light would come back on. So just an old harness, you know, these wires, they get stiffer, and yeah, it's just peeling right off of there with my fingernail. So I'm gonna plug this in and make sure it all works. We'll stick it back together. Didn't take terribly long. That's definitely easier than splicing the wire in, or you can buy these pigtails separately, but then you've gotta like de-pin this harness, and I don't have the tools to do that. And I also don't have the little connectors to put the spades on the end of these. So that would have been harder. This did, I think you get 2 of these for like 25 bucks or something like that. And this thing cost me like $65 for the harness, which is kind of rough, but if it works, that's all that matters. This was manufactured 8/11 of 2009. Let's see if this guy works. Let's put a little bit of grease on these. Let's make sure this all works before we screw it all back together. Oh, break a leg. All right, low beams, signals. High beams. And turn signals, we're good to go. Not too shabby. All right, put her back together. All right, time to change oil. Oh, one of these days, I'll stop being cheap and actually put in a lift. Till then, I'm stuck on the floor. Put some gloves on. Doesn't look bad. For the filter, I always like to use a cup because then it stops a lot of the splatter. Like I'll start it with my wrench, but just keeps it from getting all over the place. Hard to do with one hand while holding the camera though, I'll tell you that. Dang old dang. Oh, all over my face. Told you it was hard to do with one hand and on the camera. Dang. Awesome. Duh. Only splattered it all over the place. Not too shabby. God. Tight. Well, at least I had some cardboard down. I only got it on half my garage floor. And all over my jeans. And my face. And probably my nice hat. Sweet. Oh, that was so stupid. Let me get this cleaned up quick. All right, let's try this again with two hands. There we go. Well, I was trying to tell you how to do this all fancy and clean like, but so much for that. Yeah, if you do this number, then you can just twist it off typically, and it doesn't get near as messy because you can just twist it off into this cup. We did it. I'm a professional. Leave it to me to try to film something and completely screw it up. All right. And clean up everything down here. I like to put oil in my filter. You don't necessarily have to, but I think it's better if you do. See if I can do this with one hand. It'll take a second for it to soak it all up. Doesn't have to be tipped off, but at least there's oil in the media. And then get yourself a little oil on your seal there. Screw her back on. Oh. Just hand tight. I got the drain plug in already. Let's put some oil in it.
Boom. I'm a professional.
All right, oil change is done. I went ahead and swapped out the other headlight, even though obviously this one wasn't even burned out. I can't take those headlights back because I already opened the package and put one in this headlight, so might as well just change it out. I threw the package on the shelf. I guess I've got some spares if I need them, but those will just sit there for the next couple of years and I'll end up throwing them away, but that is what it is. I'm gonna get this thing turned around so we can pop the back open. Let's toss this new mattress that I picked up in there, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. And it is a little bit thicker. So yeah, let's get this beast turned around. So here is the mattress. This says go to foam. It came from Amazon, from top shelf value, I guess. I don't know. I picked this up on Amazon and it's 6 inches thick, and we'll have to measure this, but I think this one is only 4 inches. Hopefully it's not too thick that I am like hitting my head too hard into the ceiling or whatever, since there isn't a ton of room in here. But I think once I rebuild the bed in the back of this thing, that I should be able to make it maybe like an inch lower, with kind of my plans on how I'm gonna put this together. And I've been asked multiple times what I use. This is furniture foam. So this is like what they would make couch cushions and seat cushions and all that type of stuff out of. You can buy this from Amazon, you can get it on eBay. And they have a bunch of standard lengths and widths and whatever. So this is 24 by, I think, 72. Let's see if it says on here. Yeah, 24 by 72, semi-firm upholstery cushion, made in the USA, and it's 6 inches tall. So it is definitely thicker. Probably gonna take a second for it to expand, you know. Ooh, maybe not. Actually, kind of leave that on there for now. Just lay it out. That is definitely thicker. Let me grab a tape measure because we need to change this stuff all out. Toss this in the van. Put new sheets on and whatever for this trip too. So this one has been in here for 10 years, and you can see it's a little bit old and dusty and crusty, but it's worked fine, you know. Probably should have done this a while ago. Yeah, this one is 4 inches. So this one is definitely, well, this says it's 5 right now. I imagine it's going to expand a bit more as it sits out. So it feels about the same density, but it's definitely gonna be more comfortable. I do have a feeling as I'm sitting on it, it's gonna make me a little bit taller in the truck itself, but that's fine. Like I said, we'll work on that when the time comes. All right. Can you see me now? Try not to get my stuff all dirty, dang. Don't need my pillows on the floor. Can tell just by kneeling on it that this feels a lot nicer. You guys okay? I knocked you over. Yeah, this is way thicker. I need to vacuum this before I leave, but this is way thicker than the other one was. Yeah, I'm definitely sitting up higher. It is what it is. It's going to be way nicer to sleep on, but yeah, I've got to see if I can. I've got an idea that I should be able to pull at least ½ inch to an inch out of the height of this bed, and still believe I should still be able to clear the wheel well. We'll find out when we get to that. Just get the sheets put on. It's going to be much more comfortable. Much more comfortable. I gotta wash that other pillowcase before I head out, the black one, because these sets only come with one pillowcase. I don't really want to lay down on it with my dirty, so I've got oil all over my shirt and everything else. Shouldn't really even be sitting on it, but it's fine. Well, yeah, it's definitely taller. That's all right. I mean, I'm usually never sitting super straight up in here, but yeah, it's kind of a bummer. It'll be much more comfortable to sleep on, so that's all I'm really worried about. That one was definitely getting old. But I've got to, like I said, get this thing vacuumed out and kind of pack my food up and get my clothes and whatnot. Everything else is pretty much ready at this point. Just got to make sure I've got all my odds and ends and check the forecast for all the places I'm going. It's pretty, I'm going to put on a decent amount of miles on this trip. And it should be pretty enjoyable. I've got a bunch of cool spots picked out to show you guys. So hit the like button if you didn't already. Make sure you're subscribed for the trip if you enjoy this stuff. You got the bell notification on and all that kind of YouTube nonsense. And yeah, the next one we will be on the road and exploring some cool spots. So stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.